Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And welcome back, everybody. Her timing is impeccable. She joins us on this International Coaching Week. She is an amazing life coach that helps people have these aha moments about their positive intelligence. We'll explain what that is in a moment and how that can lend itself to your success as a leader. And she works with people with their leadership skills. One of her niches is working with nonprofit organizations and the people that run them. And it's so great to have her back with us. And I do believe she has a special announcement to make. We'll get with that in just a moment as well. She is Carey, and she's on the program. Welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm real good.
Happy International Coaching Week.
Thank you.
Lots to talk about today. Before we get into everything here, positive intelligence, how it supports leadership, you wanted to share something.
Yes.
What's that?
Because it's International Coaching Week and also Mental Health Awareness Month, I wanted to offer anyone listening 2 free 45-minute sessions of coaching. To see how coaching could make an impact on your life. The only drawback is you have to contact me before or by next Saturday, no later than next Saturday. So
beautiful. Well, thank you for doing that. And it's kind of swings the door open to change for many in terms of coaching. How do we contact you? Let's get that out of the way here before we move on.
What you can do is look at my website, and that is www.thrivecoachingandconsulting.com, or you can call me at 775-790-2978.
Beautiful. Positive intelligence, we've talked about it before. We're going to look at it through the lens of your success. Somebody is leading a team, running a business, how it can support them. Before we do that, let's recap, if we may. What exactly is positive intelligence?
Positive intelligence is really when you turn those challenges that we all face on a daily basis from those negative thoughts into positive ones. And it really, positive intelligence really shows you and teaches you how to be able to switch easily and quickly from those negative thoughts to more positive thoughts where you can be successful and be happy.
That process, turning the negative into a positive, do you feel that once you start really getting it, really absorbing how this all works, that the moment that you have that negative thought, it can very quickly turn into positive, and the more you practice it, the faster that switch around is?
Absolutely. You know, you're always going to have negative thoughts. Always. We're born with negative thoughts. But it's really you controlling your brain so that you can quickly recognize that it is a negative thought and it's not true, instead of ruminating about it for hours or all night and just saying, oh, wait a minute, that's my saboteur. Those are my negative thoughts. And say to yourself, okay, how can I turn this into an opportunity? What can I do to make this into a positive?
I haven't gone through that training with you yet, but I've learned a lot in the times we've gotten together, and part of my journey along the way is being more positive. The more we talk about this, I feel that I'm doing it. I am. There, I could have a thought, and we all have them. Let's be honest.
Absolutely.
Call it a trigger, whatever. Something comes up and you're like, oh, really? You get a message, a text, or whatever, phone call. And now you're just, you think it's going to ruin your day. You marinate on it. But I honestly have to tell you, the time span is way shorter. Like, I had a thought this morning. I'm very honest, transparent here, as you are. Had a thought this morning. Something bothered me, personal situation, actually wrote a text. and I was ready to send it. I'm like, man, I'm gonna lean back on. I'm gonna lean. It couldn't have been more than, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, less than that. I already forgot about it. And I only remembered it because we're talking about it now. But you check my phone for the particular individual involved in this, and they did something I don't really approve of, and it's just a communication issue, whatever it might be. You'll see the text that I was going to write, and it wasn't anything nasty. It was just I'm looking for a solution and giving my opinion. Um, I'm just going to erase it. It's just go away. We're good. We're good. I don't need to worry about it. But it's amazing how those things that we think of, we could sit with them for days, and
Oh,
it's so
absolutely.
not worth it when you look at the big picture. Not to use a cliche, but in the scheme of things, what's really important? Is that part of positive intelligence? Realizing what is the priority, what is important right now.
Absolutely. One of the things that we learn about situations is really to look at, when you're 50 years older, okay? Like for me, it would not, maybe 20 years from now. And I look back at my life and I say, that situation I had that I was all upset about,
Mm,
how important was that?
yeah.
Do I regret wasting all that energy and time on it?
Yep.
So, really recognizing what's really important.
It's so true when you look at even I look back in situations, major life situations, decades
Mhm.
back, and it's like a car in the rear view now. Barely. I have to look hard to find that car in the rear view because it's
Right.
so minimized. It's just, why did we worry about those things? Why do we marinate on them? Why did
Mhm.
we let it consume us in our lives? And I understand it, and I'm not minimizing anybody's feelings or situation at all. But when you look back on it, we put a lot of focus on things that probably we shouldn't.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's all about like keeping your priorities straight
Mm,
and recognizing what are your values and making sure that you're really fulfilling your values. And, and if you focus on that, and when things
mm,
come up and you think about it, it's like, well, wait a minute.
mm,
I have a certain value. Is that part of my value or not?
mm, mm. I'm getting a picture of us writing our values down
Hmm.
and using
I do
that
that
as,
in coaching. Absolutely.
I should be a coach. Never gonna happen. But I respect, the knowledge and everything here with this. It's almost as if like you write it down. It's almost like a filter. Like when you see it in front of you, all right, let me put it through the value filter. Oh, well, it doesn't pass the test. It's not rocking my values, or not aligning with my values. Um, can you give an example, for anybody that hears the word values and I'm not really sure what they really are? Could you give just name
Sure.
three that could be?
Okay. Integrity.
Okay.
I think that's a really important one, especially if you're a leader.
Totally agree.
And a
Yeah.
leader is anyone, really, if you think about it. It's not just someone with a title. You're a
Mm-hmm.
leader to your children, a leader in your church. You know, we're all leaders in some way or another. Another value could be honesty, which is a little different than integrity. Another value could be safety.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
the one of the things that I've always done is that if I've had to have a difficult conversation with a team member, I think about that prior to having the meeting and I really focus on, okay, what are my values? How do I want to come across to this person?
Okay. Now that made it even clearer.
Hmm.
Mm.
And it really helps keep you more focused instead of getting off on maybe your anger or frustration, is keeping it like really um, I wouldn't say balanced, but really making sure that you're following your values, that this person can walk away after this conversation and feel like, okay, I know what I'm not doing correctly. I've been given the opportunity to change it. I've
Mm-hmm.
been given support. So, if I need support or more education to get that, so they don't walk away feeling like I'm just stupid. This person doesn't like me. I'm never going to succeed.
I get a visual. There's a term, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane, right? I get a visual of the integrity, not the integrity lane. That's actually one of my values, but stay in the lane of you. And the values help you stay in there instead of veering over to another lane or another one. You're staying true to who you are. One of mine is integrity. What would what would three values for you be?
Well, integrity is one of mine. Okay. Honesty is another one. And then another one would be the one I said, safety.
Interesting. How do you define
Yeah.
safety?
I define that as like making sure that I am in a place that my actions are showing others that I respect myself and that I am going to make sure that I take care of myself.
Hmm.
It could be wearing a seatbelt. That's one extreme, to really making sure that I'm respectful to others. So I don't
Hmm.
create a situation where someone is angry with me and lashes out.
Would it also lend itself to a safe space where somebody can feel safe with you?
Oh, absolutely.
Hmm.
That's also something that's really, really important as a leader, that you want your team to always feel safe to be able to share their thoughts
Hmm.
and their concerns.
Would you say with the values, if you know what they are, you adhere to them, maybe you wrote it down. So now it's always staring you in the face. Put it on a post-it note in front of you on your daily day. And
Absolutely.
if
Absolutely.
if you deviate from your values, doesn't it feel uncomfortable or
Absolutely.
or just goes against your grain? Like for me, I'm right there with you, Karen, with integrity and honesty, absolutely. And I think for me it would be um, fairness,
Hmm.
fairness slash compromise. But when things aren't fair, and it's not just about me, but when they're not fair for others and in situations, it just like I feel my back tense up. Like it just bothers me. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. Hmm.
And I think, those feelings that we get, those negative thoughts when we don't follow our values, that's a really good, like, key, sort of like a little wake up call to you to say, wait a minute, I'm deviating here.
Yeah.
I'm messing up.
I swerved.
That's
I swerved out of
right.
the
That's
lane.
right. And we're all guilty of it. We're not perfect. None of us are,
Sure.
so that, for a team member, a leader's credibility is really important,
And
which
integrity.
is a lot of what we're talking about, that credibility.
So positive intelligence, PQ, what else should we look at if we want to ensure success as a leader?
Well, we want to be able to manage those inner critics of ourselves. So we can be, so we can exude, inspire confidence
Mm,
and clarity, okay, instead of being driven by fear or anxiety. Because, we forget or we don't think about how others see us. And if you're fearful or have anxiety, that comes out loud and clear to your team members. They pick up on that. It's
yeah.
not too difficult for that to happen. So if you want to inspire confidence, you have to be confident. And you have to make sure that those saboteurs and those negative thoughts are kept at bay.
It's almost like walk the walk and talk the talk.
Absolutely. And really, you want to boost your mental fitness. And you do that by, doing PQ reps and if you do that, your muscle is going to strengthen and you're going to be able to manage challenges and crises better without those negative thoughts and emotions coming into play, which will
Hmm.
really, wreak havoc with you and your team because they're going to pick up on that really easily. And then I guess to go on, I would also say empathy.
Hmm.
It's really important as a leader that you understand your own emotions and the emotions of others, and that you communicate using empathy. Because if you can do that, then your team will trust you. And when they trust you, they're more likely going to, just like we said, be more open to you, tell you what issues they have, concerns, and they also will be willing to take that risk to say, I have an idea. It may
Hmm.
be crazy, but I have an idea. I want to throw it out there. So that's really important.
Empathy. Let's look at that for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
I can see how game changing it can be as a leader to have empathy for your team, just to know what they're feeling, picking up on that. How do you protect yourself from being too empathetic? Where am I going with that? Personally, I did the strength assessment test. I've done a bunch of them. Empathy is my number two strength, communication being one. Duh.
Absolutely.
um, I find that sometimes it gets the best of me because
Uh,
too involved. I care. I don't want to say I care too much. I don't think you can care enough. But uh,
yeah.
how do you put protection up there? Because I do. I'm challenged by that.
I think boundaries. I think
Mm,
as a leader, that's really an important piece of being a good leader, a successful leader, is you have to have boundaries. And those boundaries are you don't overstep. You support your team.
mm.
You offer, empathy. You offer support, but you don't get into their business. And just like you don't share your personal business only as it relates to the organization or the team. You may say, I'm having a difficult day. I have some stuff going on at home. It's not easy. So if I seem a little distracted, that's what it is. Okay. Without going into details.
Hmm. I have a very real question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know somebody that was going through some challenges. They lead a team, some health challenges, and I'm connected with these two people. So now you have this person with the health challenges involving cancer, and they're doing great now. But a while back they were going through some stuff, and a mutual friend of theirs and ours told them, "Don't reveal all this to your team. It's going to make you look weak. Don't tell them everything that's going on." And they felt that, yeah, I just want people to know where I'm at, for just they're very transparent.
Absolutely.
How do you feel about that situation? How do you feel about that comment of the mutual friend telling them, yeah, lean back on that. Don't give up everything.
Well, I have mixed feelings,
Mm,
honestly.
mm,
I think it's important, as you look at that example, I think it's important for your team to know that you have cancer, you're going through treatment, it's not easy. There's going to be days that I'm distracted, I'm not feeling the greatest, but I'm going to carry on. I'm excited about the work we're doing. I still want us to succeed. So
mm.
I think keeping it at a high level and not getting into the nitty gritty about, oh, I'm nauseous, I have a headache, I can't think clearly. You see where I'm going? Does that make sense?
It does. And it came through very clear just now with, and this is my thought on all of this, and I'd love your opinion. If you're going to share things, there has to be something for somebody else. Where am I going with that? You share with the team, going through cancer treatment. Yeah, it's a bit of a challenge, but you're showing them how you're powering through and you're being courageous, you're being strong about it, you're being transparent about it. There are
Absolutely.
lessons that you're showing the others as opposed to, yeah, just to let you know I have cancer and might not be in tomorrow and just, victim mode. And again, I'm not minimizing anything for anybody. I'm just looking at different ways that it could be presented.
Oh, absolutely. If you look at that, you see that what you're really doing as a leader is you're role modeling positive behavior.
That's where I'm going.
You're showing them really a challenging time in their life that they all could face at different times,
Yeah.
either with themselves or a family or a friend member. How do you manage that? So you're giving them a really positive example.
Sure.
And I would venture to say they're going to walk out of that meeting and feel really good. They're going to feel sad for what you're going through, but they're going to have a lot of respect for you,
Yeah.
empathy, but they know that they have your back and you have their back.
Yeah, absolutely. Great talk today. I want to go back to the beginning and your offering for International Coaching Week.
Mm-hmm. Yes, 2 45-minute free sessions.
Beautiful. And I'm sorry,
right?
go ahead.
Give people an opportunity to see what coaching is like for them and how coaching could make an impact in their life.
And if you're one of those people that are feeling that, best way to reach out to you?
Call me. I have a voicemail. If I don't answer, the number is 775-790-2978, or go to my website, www.thrivecoachingandconsulting.com, and please spell it out. And we can get something set up with a time that works for everyone.
Great stuff today. More and more I see positive intelligence is so paramount, not just a leader, but moving your life forward. And again, I'm starting to do it and not even realize I'm doing it until we talk about it.
Right, absolutely.
And why be
You're a great
negative?
student, Steve.
I guess so, but why be negative when you can minimize it and then move your life forward? I want to add too, if anybody has a comment, question for Karen, you can reach us also instant feedback, steve@gmail.com. Thank you for being here today and all the insight. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Take care.
We'll be
Have
right
a
back.
good week.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.